Oh
yours
my
is
God, dude, it's been forever.
yours is only manual, am I right?
Yeah. Like a true dress watch.
Oh. Hi guys, I'm Patrick.
I'm Adam.
And this is Clock,
Stock.
and Barrel. So guys, we're going to discuss whether or not you need a dress watch.
Yeah.
Do you really? No, and this is a funny...
Just kidding.
This is a funny topic for us because I've been through a few dress watches. I own two now. And I don't even really consider them dress watches. I guess the ones I enjoy the most are the hybrid pieces. I don't have like a purist dress watch.
Yeah, I think for the sake of this video, a dress watch is something that's sub 40 millimeters for sure, maybe even sub 38.
Sub 40
that has a super thin profile and has just a big dial with like no bezel basically. Like, we're talking like the stereotypical like 50s, 60s vintage watch, like an old Seamaster.
5 meter water resistant.
Yeah.
Keep it away.
1 meter.
Yeah, keep it away from puddles or splashes. That kind of dress watch.
Yeah.
So wristwatch check. Conveniently enough, I'm wearing one of my own dress watches. This is an Oris Sinatra Moon Phase. This is part of their Culture collection. I am absolutely enamored with this watch. It's my favorite piece right now, and I've been wearing it a lot. On the go, around the house. It's just so legible, so unique.
That's the thing there. It's unique. Like, I didn't even know this watch existed.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Oris, but like I never look at their dressier pieces.
Well, you think of Oris now, you think of their dive culture.
Oh my God, Aquis 65. I'm a diver watch fan, so that's why you can't overlook some of the other pieces that they have. And I mean, that thing is great.
And this is all part of, like I said, that cultural collection. They had a whole series of watches. They had a Louis Armstrong, Miles Davis, you name it. You name it. You should just look up the cultural collection from Oris, and you'll hopefully find some information. It's really obscured out there, but I can tell you that this is the Frank Sinatra model. All that means is the case design and dial face design. But yeah, what do you have on?
And I am wearing the dress watch that I will have for the rest of my life because it was a very, very important gift to me when I graduated. I have a Nomos Orion.
It's gorgeous.
And this is I got this in 2013. So this is
gold. Are those gold batons?
Yeah, gold batons, the blue hands. I mean, this is a 35 millimeter Orion. Like you can't go wrong with it.
Can't get dressier than that. And it's funny, mine's a 39 millimeter. I definitely think it's.
And you can have so much fun with the straps too, because it's so it's the Bauhaus style. That German style. It's beautiful lugs, big white dial. You can have some fun with the straps. So I have another nice little gray strap. Mm-hmm. And just look at that case back. This is like the first exposure I really had to an incredible case back. What's great too about this thing is this is before Nomos was in Torno and any of these other places. It was just starting to get really popular because it was one of those brands that made just completely in-house with their movement. So I remember I was just getting into watches and I was kind of looking around. I was like, man, what is a classic timepiece that I will literally have forever that will, be the quintessential timepiece. And in-house, German-made. I think this was under $2,000. Like, you can't go wrong with that, man. So
that's funny because I feel like we all crave a dress watch, and this one just happened upon me. I mean, this was the most. What's the word? Erratic, sporadic. I'm impulsive. Impulsive. I'm a horrible impulse buyer. Such a consumer. I'm
sure every single viewer here is pretty much right in that boat.
We've all had that moment, right? We've all had that moment where we saw something and just immediately wanted it. And I hadn't had that moment in a long time when I stumbled upon this Oris. And it's not like I was trying to check off boxes, but a large part of me wanted a dress watch that had a moon phase. Because that felt essential. I feel like, checking the moon phase and knowing, the tide, like a tide chart, having a basic idea of. I mean, that's why, in my opinion, you have a moon phase is to know water levels.
It's romantic.
But it is a little romantic. I think it's more important for a dive watch personally. But it's just so slick on a dial that I don't even care.
I love that blue. I mean, in person, hopefully you guys will, with that shot, you guys can kind of see the dial on that.
Contrasting that, another Rios leather strap.
I saw this the first time today, and honestly, that blue on, the numerals, the blue, and then the moon phase, I mean, that just pops like crazy.
Yeah, it does stand out. And this is, this is like, for me, this is sort of a hybrid dress watch. I really wouldn't consider it a purist dress watch, but it is a little bit thicker than the average watch, and it has a very interesting lug design. These guys are set up on their own hinge, so these form around your wrist a little bit nicer.
Yeah, that's very
you can
cool.
see that action. They have hanging lugs, but the case design is very sleek. It's a Tourneau style. Yeah, you can't go wrong. But guys, that's not up for debate today. What we're talking about is why you should own a dress watch.
He loves this watch, if you can't tell.
Yeah, I've been so taken with it, guys. Like it's literally been on my wrist every day since I got it, and that was, goodness, well, 2 weeks ago. So I guess I'm still in that honeymoon phase.
Definitely.
Honeymoon phase.
Good choice with the strap too.
Yeah, thank you, man.
That looks good.
Yeah. I mean, it revived the whole look. It came on a bracelet and or a brown leather strap, but you know, that's neither here nor there.
The topic of discussion. Do you actually need one of these?
That's a good one. You know what? For all practical purposes, I usually find myself going for something sportier.
Absolutely. I'm a huge dive watch fan to begin with.
Yeah.
Divers, I mean, my daily driver right now is a Rolex GMT. Anything, you know, something with at least 100 meters water resistance.
And why do you even go for this? Like, we're not, there's so many people, like, I feel like 90% of the people that buy dive watches don't dive with dive watches.
No one even uses dive watches anymore. People use computers. They might have a backup, you know, on their right wrist or whatever. But like everyone uses computers these days. But you know, but you know that's not the point. But I think
you buy them because they're robust.
Yes, exactly.
Bezels are fun. And
you feel like it could be a zombie apocalypse could happen.
Yeah.
And you'd be okay with a dive watch. You know, they're so rugged. The case, the construction on divers is just...
Is that the question? What watch would you wear during a zombie apocalypse?
Yeah. Oh, man.
I'd choose the Oris.
You know, you gotta
look good while you're getting eaten alive.
That would look good on Walking Dead if you were on that.
Oh my gosh, yeah, dude, close up, please.
Get paid the big bucks from Oris. You do that too.
No, that would be.
But you know, I mean, I have this Nomos. It was a gift. I will never sell it. I think a lot of people get kind of caught up in, you know, I need a dress watch. I have
Would you
this amount of
otherwise?
Probably not, honestly. You know, so I almost forced myself to tick off that box. So my situation is pretty unique because I know that I have my dress watch for life at this point. You know, and like I still believe I couldn't have made a better pick, you know, for the price range and for what it is.
Yeah, we'll see how long, Nomos, if it stands the test of time.
I think they will. They keep getting more and more popular. They're reaching out to, you know, these bigger places like Tourneau, and everyone's selling them, and they're getting a bigger community online following. So
they just make a good-looking watch.
Yeah. But, you know, I mean, do I really need one? Better question, how often do I even actually wear this? You know, and the answer to that is maybe a couple times a year. Like I'm being completely honest. I absolutely love this watch. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. But do I ever wear it?
I think that's the issue when it comes to the style of the watch. When you think dress watch, you think occasional.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
that's the biggest thing.
And that mindset sort of trips you up. I think that's sort of the matter with a lot of dress watches is you don't feel like it's the right occasion to put it on.
Yeah.
And I just, it's not really, I'm not even forcing myself with the Oris. I just enjoy it so much that, you know, every day is the occasion.
Yeah.
I think it's really a simple matter of that being one of the issues, your mindset on what is a dress watch for you. But not only that, it's like, it's never going to be as robust.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to, in Nomos' case, you know, compared to a watch in the same price range.
I'm scared when I wear this. I know it's you know, pretty robust.
I'm sure you could.
I'm still worried. Like, I don't want to even get close to water with this thing. Like, even washing my hands, I'm like kind of like pushing it up a little bit. You know what I mean?
Like cup first and then wash.
You know, it's just something for me, something this delicate. You know, there's some more robust dress watches, but like a true dress watch, like a manual wind, thin profile dress watch. It's just something that's on my mind. It's like, oh, I gotta be careful here, you know. But if I'm wearing a Rolex or if I'm wearing a Monster or a Seiko SKX, you know, I don't care if I hit it, you know, I'll toss it, whatever. But it's just, I feel like this thing is so delicate that I have to be so cautious everywhere I go with it.
Yeah.
And I work a desk job, right? I wear full sleeves, but even then, I don't wear it. I just end up picking one of my sport watches or, you know?
Yeah, guys, if you have that same problem, let us know and like how you've alleviated that, because I feel like that mentality, the dress mentality, holds a lot of us back from not only making that buy, but acquiring one.
So guys, I guess, you know, what I'm trying to say is maybe I mentioned before that I would not buy this again, but I think the biggest reason that I wouldn't buy it again is because I see this as $2,000 that I could spend on, let's say, a Tudor back Black Bay, or put that $2,000 towards a used Pelagos. Mm-hmm. You know, like sport watches, when it comes to something that's $1,500 or more, like I want a rugged, robust dive watch.
And those pieces have become, you know, pseudo dress watches. I mean, people wear their sports watches in suits. I mean, you were just mentioning earlier, like Rolex's most recent ad campaigns have people wearing submariners.
I'm pretty sure Tiger Woods was wearing a sub, like under a tuxedo. And like before, it was a faux pas to even wear a watch with a tuxedo, and now they're marketing, you know, subs with a tuxedo. So
what does that say about the dress watch line? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and what does that say about 2017 and the age we live in now? It's almost like, you know, dress watches.
Owning an expensive dress watch.
Yeah. And, you know, I don't think so. I think if I, let's say I never got this and I was, you know, we're all obsessed collectors, if I had to tick that box, I would go for maybe like an Orient Bambino or like a Sun and Moon or something like that for $200. If I'm going to wear it a couple times a year only. But, you know, and then like, am I going to choose that $100 Orient over, say, my Rolex GMT or, I don't know, some other piece that, you know.
Not just the purchase. You just mean like, am I going to put it on the wrist that day?
Yeah, that day. Am I even going to decide, you know, if I'm going to some fancy black tie, am I going to wear that or not?
I owned an Orient Bambino. I owned one with a gray dial. I think it was the third variant. I just had baton indices on the dial. I wore it to one wedding.
There you go.
And I never wore it again.
And you never wore it again.
It didn't even feel, and the thing is, it's a popular watch. It retained its value. I was able to get my money back and some change because I threw in some additional things. But Lord, like, did I need that experience? I don't know. It felt great. It looked great on the wrist. I'm like, what do you wear a watch for? Is it for compliments? Is it to fit the occasion? I mean, you're certainly going to get compliments. I mean, with that watch, it's so pretty. I think it was one of my best looking watches comparatively, even with this Oris. I mean, this is worlds apart, you know, mechanically and just functionally speaking. But I probably wouldn't buy the Orient again either. I mean, if you really want to, if it's about ticking off boxes, yeah, that's one to put in the collection. But and why I sold it is just I looked at my case and you know, I work a series of jobs. I used to work desk jobs and. I just don't find myself wearing a dress watch casually, you know, and that's the bigger overarching issue. It's do you want to casually wear that dress piece?
But you know, some of the rules kind of go out the window at the same time when you're going, I feel like, into vintage, because in vintage, like if you're getting a sports watch, it's probably going to be expensive as hell, right? Unless you get some type of sport piece like this Waltham that I picked up on eBay, right? Yeah. Which is a 70s diver. But, you know, I went and I picked up a vintage Grand Seiko, but I mean, this is a dress watch, you know? But at the time, this was a watch that everyone would wear, you know? It wouldn't just be a dress watch, it would be an everyday watch. And, you know, like I said, with vintage, some of the rules go out the window because there's different, you know, emotional connections and things like that. But in the modern day and age, like...
Culturally, we've changed. Because, you know, it was like my dad, like... My granddad, he wouldn't have looked at a dive watch as a regular wear. He would have had some quartz. Yeah. First and foremost, because it was practical and robust. It told time accurately. It would have been very small and would have lacked all the accoutrements of a modern diver. Yeah. That's for sure. Any sports watch, for that matter. You know, it's funny. Like I needed a moon phase, the date, and a 24-hour scale to pique my interest again. And having a dress watch. Do you know what I mean? Like I needed so many added things to get me excited about a dress watch. And I'm like hell excited, like really stoked anytime I put on this piece because aesthetically it's a charmer and I love its functions. I don't know if that allure is gonna die anytime soon,
but flip side, perfect example. I was a month and a half ago, I was at the Omega Boutique on Fifth Ave in New York. To get my Speedmaster service, which is gone now, but there was a gentleman trying to get his old, it was like a 60s gold-plated Seamaster, right? And a manual wine, like the quintessential dress watch. The guy he was talking to the lady, and he said he had done multiple marathons in that watch. He
Really?
literally wore it for everything. You know, because like when he bought it, I think he said he bought it in 1970 something. It might have been maybe in the late 60s. When he bought that watch, a dress watch was kind of like what you get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like he was like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna run my marathon and stuff. And eventually, you know, he stopped wearing it because it started going crazy and gaining like 5 minutes a day. But that kind of just goes to show you
They're more
the change in
robust than they
times.
look.
Exactly.
That's for sure.
You know, obviously
That's
it was an
crazy.
issue. You
Yeah.
know, but yeah, I mean, times are changed. I think
Those
that's the biggest
constellations,
reason.
by the way, those globe masters, what are they called with the pie pan dials? Man, there's another dress watch I want.
Yeah, actually, that's a great point though, because there's those beautiful. I think there's a constellation with like the blue accents on it, right? And like it's gorgeous, but
Yeah,
like
can't go wrong.
if I wouldn't, well, it's probably the retail is probably like 5,500 or something
It's
like
up there.
that.
Yeah.
Like I would much rather have a $3,000 diver than spend $5,500. But then again, you know what? Some people are in completely different stratospheres financially, and they're looking for a phenomenal, great dress watch. For them, it might just be a drop in the bucket. So why not? You know what I mean?
Or you can
But-
run a marathon with it.
but
Even
you
just
know-
a jogging watch.
But even then, I don't like. Let's say I won the lottery. I don't think I would buy like a crazy nice dress watch. I would still be rocking like an AP Royal Oak to a wedding instead of getting a Patek Calatrava. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that also speaks to our age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe that mindset will change when we get into our 30s and 40s. But
I think that's a 21st century thing, definitely.
yeah,
That mindset that we want, there's all this active wear out there now. Even like that iWatch, the first thing they came out with were sports bands.
yeah,
You know, I guess we're just a more active culture.
yeah.
That we want something.
Or want to
that
pretend to be.
is- Yeah, or at least
You
want
know?
to pretend to be.
Yeah.
So guys, while you're out there pretending,
So yeah, no, I mean, I guess to sum it up, do you really need a dress watch? If you don't really want one, don't just feel the need to tick a box off to get it, right?
Yeah,
If you're gonna wear it twice a year, why even bother? Take that $200 you would have spent on an Orient and buy yourself an SKX or buy yourself a Monster. Or,
yeah, and remember at the beginning of this collection
You know?
phase that, or even if you're just buying the one and only watch, it's just a watch. And
Yeah.
any number of these, they're going to serve the same function. So is it necessary? No, none of it is. It's all luxury.
Mhm.
So go with something you enjoy. If you think you're going to wear a dress watch every day, totally. But from
Yeah.
a young 20-something perspective, it's tough. It's a tough call. It's
Yeah.
a really tough call. I've got two dress pieces, which is crazy. One was a gift. One was my Omega. And you know what? I'm never going to get rid of this guy because I absolutely love it. I think the movement's stellar.
Well, yeah, that's a great point. I have an Omega coming too. But then again, there's that vintage charm where, you know, that kind of changes a little bit. Because I have an F300 coming as well. It's a gold plated. It's like a typical Omega kind of, it's a 36 mil, I think. It's in the shop right now getting fixed. But that's an example where for me it kind of goes out the window because it's this piece of history, you know, from the 70s when the tuning fork technology was the newest, you know, latest and greatest thing. So, you know, and that has a look, you know, you look at the dial, there's some depth to it, there's some cool
Oh,
things.
it's crazy.
And then this thing, you know, we would call this a dress watch, but it's so much more. I mean, just look at the robust case, you know? Like, oh, sorry.
You're good, man.
Oh, there goes the glass. No,
No.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, so, you know, it depends, but I would say, why bother if you don't want one?
Yeah.
Don't just tick off the box.
Don't tick up a box, guys. Do you need a dress watch? I hope we helped you decide. If you like this video, feel free to hit that like button. If you disliked it, you can do that too. It's totally okay. I've disliked a few things in my past.
Really? Wow, you're an asshole.
Yeah. No.
I've never disliked a video in my life.
Really?
Yeah, I just move along.
Wow, I guess I am an asshole.
That's okay. Sometimes I need to leave comments that are like,
You don't dislike, you like it, and then you leave the snarkiest comment.
Yes.
Like, I don't know if I buy that.
start the shitstorms.
Guys, if you want to see
Nah.
more content like this, just endless banter about things you care about, feel free to subscribe. There's also a bell on the homepage. If you want to see when our videos pop up, feel free to hit that bell, and you'll get a little chime as to when those do come up. Guys, stay tuned for more episodes of CSB. Thanks for joining us.
See you guys.